بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله على نبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Alhamdulillah, we are welcome to the second day of HCD. Inshallah, today we will continue on the review of our book, Islamization of Knowledge, on the second section. And today I will introduce the moderator of the session, Professor Abdullah Talhatu. He will, inshallah, moderate the session, inshallah. Professor Abdullah Talhatu is a professor in the Faculty of Education and a deputy dean in that faculty, and also a deputy director of the Institute for Education, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. So from now on, inshallah, we will continue the session. Professor Abdullah,
السلام عليكم.
وليتفضل مشكورا. السلام
السلام عليكم.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. You are all welcome to this program, that is the 7th HTD program organized by Iiit Central Nigeria. Today we have entered the second day, which is going to be a continuation of last discussions, which was anchored by Professor Dogarawa. And today we are going to handle the second chapter of the book titled Islamization of Knowledge, written by Professor Salih Shehu. So today, inshallah, this section will be handled by an erudite professor in the Islamic studies, and he is no other than Professor Isa Muhammad Maishanu. Professor Isa Muhammad Maishanu had his BA in Islamic studies from Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, and also had his MA and PhD in Pakistan. He is a well-known professor whom I know to have supervised and examined so many PhD and master students, and also served as external assessors of many professors and readers within and outside Nigeria. So today, inshallah, we'll hear from him on the second segment of this program, which is going to deal with mission of knowledge. So my dear brothers and sisters, we would like you to please pay attention and abide by the rules governing this virtual meeting. Essentially, we would like you to please mute your speaker, mute your camera, and then dress well, because everybody is seeing us worldwide. So please let us abide by the ethics And let us also pay attention and learn the best we can learn. I think without much waste of our time, I'll call on our erudite professor, Professor Isa Muhammad Meshanu, to take over and continue. Yeah, Professor, Assalamu alaikum.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Now,
Can I start?
yes, sir, you can start. So please, all participants should remain silent.
No. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله ربه بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. بعد. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. This is a very good opportunity for me and all others to interact on a very, very important aspect of our religion, and that is the concept of knowledge or ilm or Islamic vision of ilm or knowledge as a chapter from a book of our erudite professor, Professor Salis Shehu, on Islamization of knowledge. The title is the vision of knowledge in Islam, and we can see clearly that Islam is a message that has been revealed as a message of scholarship from the very, very inception of this religion. And you can see that very clearly from the first verses revealed by Allah SWT to his final prophet Muhammad SAW as a final message that has been perfected for the entire humanity and to the end of time. The first verses were very, very clear that it is a message of scholarship, it is a message of learning, it is a message of civilizing the whole world to the end of time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown us clearly that this religion has been perfected, and the book that has come to finalize it is the glorious Quran, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described as أعوذ بالله من الشيطان كتاب أحكمت آياته ثم فصلت من لدن حكيم خبير. It is a book that has been perfected, its meanings have been perfected, has been put at the highest level of human intellectualism. So Islam, as we can see clearly, has emphasized learning from its very inception. It is not a message of ignorance or blind worship or anything of such kind. It is a message of guidance for the whole of humanity and to the end of time. The glorious Quran and in fact the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that has come to elucidate and expatiate on the message of the Quran have been very, very clear on the issue of knowledge and the love for knowledge and the, you can say the impetus that the religion has put in believers in seeking for knowledge. This, as I said, can be seen very clearly in the first verses of the Quran that were revealed unto the Prophet ﷺ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. So very clearly Allah is telling His Prophet ﷺ at the time of that incident that has been recorded by Imam Bukhari in his Sahih collection, that the Prophet ﷺ, this in fact is the first, you can say, first contact between the heavens and the earth. At the time, after a long time, that after Isa alayhi salam, Allah chose to send his final prophet, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, with that message. And the message did not start with established prayer or pay zakah or be kind to your neighbors or any of such things. It started with the issue of read, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. Recite in the name of the Lord who has created man and taught man what he knew not. As is very clear in this well-known verse that we. So this is clear message that is supposed to guide Muslims and to make them proud of being part and parcel of this ummah of intellectualism, ummah of scholarship, unlike all other on the surface of the earth. We can see clearly the position and importance of knowledge in Islam begin with the fact that firm faith in Allah is only predicated on the basis of full conviction, certainty, and proof. That is, it is only when you are fully convinced, when you have certainty, and when you have proof before you that you have firm iman in Allah, which is the basis, which is the foundation of all foundations. Without faith, you are nothing. Without iman, you are nowhere. And without conviction and certainty, your iman and your Islam is never accepted. And we know clearly from the teachings of the Quran and the explanation of the Prophet ﷺ that can only be gotten by means of knowledge. It is only knowledge that will help you have that firm iman in Allah, because it will convince you of the basis of clear instructions, clear guidance from Allah Ta'ala, and also proofs and ayats that Allah has been sending to the Prophet ﷺ. The message of Islam, as we know, that the Quran has two main parts, as classified by scholars of Ulum al-Quran. We have the Meccan Quran and the Medina Quran. The Meccan Quran, that is the first part of the Quran, which has been revealed for a period of 13 years. 13 years, Allah has been confirming, as scholars are saying, the Iman or faith in the hearts of believers by various means. As Allah said, وَلَقَدْ ضَرَبْنَا لِلنَّاسِ فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَذَكَّرُونَ. That is that every kind of similitude, every kind of explanation, anything that man needs to be guided onto Allah, Allah has set that down in the Quran, and especially in those in that kind of the Quran, that is the Quran. A very clear indication of this we can see in a whole surah that is well known for that. That is Surah Al-An'am. Surah Al-An'am is a special surah, just like Surah Yusuf is another special surah. Surah Al-An'am from the beginning to the end is dealing with the issue of Iman, the various aspects of Iman, including the ayat, some things that you are supposed to, on your own, be convinced with. Allah is indicating, asking questions that have no answers except those answers that Allah will give. And many of these verses are there in that particular surah, and this is just so as to call you to have that conviction, that certainty, and the proofs that are there Allah, that have been provided by Allah in that surah. Just as an example, there are many other verses and surahs of the Quran that were revealed in order to help man attain that perfection in Iman, including conviction and so on. And as we mentioned, this full conviction, certainty, and proof cannot be attained except by means of knowledge. And it is only when faith is attained through sound knowledge that it could endure. If it is just something superficial, something based on maybe shaky foundations, it will be ephemeral. Within no time, man will lose it. And that is why in Islam, there is no room for blind followership. Many verses of the Quran are very clear to tell us that the when the Prophet ﷺ came to the Quraysh, and he was calling them to Islam, they were saying, "Inna wajadna aba'ana ala ummah, inna ala atharihim muqtadun." That is, they have been telling him ﷺ, that we found our forefathers on a particular path of knowledge, particular path of religion, and so we'll continue on it. Allah said, Allah said, even if their forefathers do not have aql, that is, they do not have real reason in what they say, and they have no knowledge and they have no guidance. So there is no need for you. It is not justified for you to follow blindly any person, as long as Allah has elucidated and has explained everything in this wonderful religion. The verses of the Quran, as you can see, were first revealed to Prophet Muhammad are those which enjoined him to read, as confirmed by as I said earlier. And we can see some of what our Muslim scholars have written, like Imam Qayyim in his book. He outlined more than 120 virtues of knowledge. They were outlined by him in his book. This is just to show to us the importance knowledge has, and so much great place Allah has given it in the scheme of things of Muslims. Some of these factors, as have been mentioned, are number one, that scholars are witness to Allah's tawheed. Allah mentioned this clearly in Surah Al Imran, where it says, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. شهد الله أنه لا إله إلا هو والملائكة وأولو العلم قائما بالقسط لا إله إلا هو العزيز الحكيم." That is, Allah has testified. شهد الله أنه لا إله إلا هو والملائكة وأولو العلم. Allah has testified, and so also the angels, and so also the people of knowledge, and La ilaha illallah, there is no one that deserves to be worshipped. No one has the quality. No one deserves worship except Allah alone, because He is the creator. He is the creator and the controller. Allah lahu al-mulku wal-amru. Allah said, listen, His is creation, and so His is the commandment. He is the only one to command, because He is the one who has given the guidance, and He is the one who has created. No one has shared anything with Him in creation. So all acts of commandment, all acts of commandments, all acts of obedience are to Him alone. This is one aspect of the virtue of knowledge. It is those who have been given knowledge that Allah has mentioned together with Himself and the angels, as those who have witnessed and have firm certainty in their heart regarding the tawhid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we all know clearly the verses that we read in Surah Zumar, where Allah is قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. And the context of this verse is very, very important for us. Allah said, أَمَّنْ هُوَ قَانِتٌ آنَاءَ اللَّيْلِ سَاجِدًا وَقَائِمًا يَحْذَرُ الْآخِرَةَ وَيَرْجُو رَحْمَةَ رَبِّهِ قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ إِنَّمَا يَتَذَكَّرُ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. Allah is saying, أَمَّنْ هُوَ قَانِتٌ آنَاءَ اللَّيْلِ. Is that one who has been standing praying in the long hours of the night, standing, reciting the Quran and falling prostrate before Allah, and in fear of Allah's punishment in the next life, those who know, like this one that has just been described, can he be equal to one who has no knowledge of his own existence? Someone who doesn't know who he is, someone who doesn't know the purpose of his existence in this life, someone who has no idea of his destiny. They can never be equal. So it is people of knowledge that has been described in this particular verse. Another thing that has been mentioned, another virtue of knowledge, is that it is the only thing of this world that the Prophet was commanded by Allah to ask for more. Allah told him, that is, say, oh Allah, increase me in knowledge. So it is so important, so much of a virtue that Allah commanded His Prophet ﷺ to seek for more of it, because it is one of the best things that Allah has given to the best of His creation, and that is the prophets and the messengers. Another thing that confirms the virtue of knowledge is that it has been made obligatory on each and every Muslim. Very famous hadith of the Rasulullah saying, "طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم." That is, the search for knowledge is compulsory on each and every Muslim. So you cannot find any civilization in any way of life, in any philosophy, obligatory on each and every member of society. This is only found in Islam as the final message of Allah, the hujjah of Allah on earth to the end of time. Then if we look at the aims of acquiring knowledge in Islam, we can see that in Islam, knowledge is taught and acquired for one and only fundamental aim, and that is for the sake of Allah. It is only for the sake of Allah that knowledge is sought. Whatever kind of knowledge, and that is why a Muslim has always that at the back of his mind, that whatever knowledge he is seeking, whatever thing he is doing in this life, he must do it for the sake of Allah alone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, "Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahayaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alamin la sharika lah wa bidhalika umirtu wa ana awwalul muslimin." That is, say, my prayer and my nusuk, my sacrifice, my life, my death are all for Allah. So knowledge inclusive. Whatever you know of knowledge, the main aim of acquiring Islam is not for you to get a certificate, not for you to get employment. The first and foremost aim is for you to do it for the sake of Allah alone. All other things are secondary. All other things are supposed to follow after that primary aim, and that is the aim of pleasing Allah, because He is the one who commanded you to seek for that knowledge, and He is the one who has imposed on you the search for knowledge. Secondly, it means that one should seek knowledge in Islam in order to know Allah and to worship Him correctly and properly. That is very, very clearly, knowledge is aimed at helping you to know your Lord and Creator, and to know the way to worship Him in a proper manner, so that you will have a very good very good life, very good help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, "Man amila salihan min dhakarin aw untha wa huwa mu'min falanuhyiyannahu hayatan tayyibah wa lanajziyannahum ajrahum bi ahsani ma kanu ya'malun." Man amila salihan min dhakarin aw untha wa huwa mu'min falanuhyiyannahu hayatan tayyibah. Allah is saying, man amila salihan min dhakarin aw untha, anyone who acts righteously, a male or a female, and being a believer, Allah is saying that we are going to cause him to live a very enjoyable life here on earth. That is, his life will be so much of perfection and tawfiq and success. But Allah will be guiding him in each and every aspect of his life, and then on the year after, he will have the best of rewards. So what will make you attain that is seeking knowledge of trying to know your Lord and Creator, to know that you did not create yourself, you are created by a Creator, and that this Creator did not leave you without any guidance. He has, out of His own mercy, sent prophets and messengers with books in order to guide you, so that you will live in accordance with what He loves of you in this particular day. And we all know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is great, and His angels, the hereafter, the Jannah, and Nar are all great. And that is why Allah mentioned as the first quality of the believers in the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah, when Allah explained the responses of humanity towards His final guidance. Allah said, "Alif Lam Mim, ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب." Allah mentioned first the belief al-ghaib unseen. Allah is unseen. Allah chose to be unseen as a test for each and every one of us, so that we'll use the intellect, the reasoning that Allah has given us, so as to see all the things around us, in order to believe in Him and to attach ourselves to His guidance. Then this is very important, because Allah is great. Whatever He has given us of intellect and abilities, we cannot know. We cannot know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we cannot find Him, we cannot bring Him to the laboratory and so on and so forth. So it is only by means of certain knowledge, by means of an infallible knowledge, infallible source of knowledge, and that's revelation, and that is the only way by means of which you will know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is through that knowledge that you'll also know how to worship Him correctly and how to be in proper relationship between you and Him, between you and your own self, and between you and all other creations on the surface of the earth. It is very clear also that even if not necessarily religious knowledge, so long as the knowledge that you are seeking is beneficial to you and to humanity, Islam approves of it. That is, when we are saying acquiring knowledge, it is not limited to the religious knowledge, but it is fundamental, the most fundamental, because you cannot go and do anything without knowing who you are. That you can do, you can know only by acquiring religious knowledge. When you know your Lord and Creator, when you know the message that was sent by your Creator to you in order to serve as a guide for you in life. So without knowing that, there is no way for you of doing anything. But apart from that, whatever kind of knowledge you will seek, as long as it's beneficial to humanity, Islam approves of it, and it will encourage people to do it. So, just as been described at one of the meetings, the aim of Muslim education is the creation of the good and righteous man who worships Allah in the true sense of the term, who builds up the structure of his earthly life according to the Sharia and employs it to serve his faith. As a true believer who is a true product of Muslim education is that person who is good and righteous, who worships Allah in the true sense of the term, because he has a very strong relationship with Him, and he builds up his, the structure of his earthly life according to the Sharia. That is the whole gamut of his affairs in life will have to be within the pictures of the Sharia, and he will employ it so as to serve his own faith and Iman. So, brothers and sisters in Islam, as far as Islam is concerned, Allah is the source of all knowledge. It makes no difference whether that knowledge is the type that is obtained through revelation, which we have just explained, or the type that is acquired through empirical methods, by empirical means, experience, experimentation, other things that we have in life. In this regard, the source and origin of knowledge is divine and transcendental. That is, knowledge of all kinds came from Allah. And it's very, very interesting to see that even in Western writings, especially in the study of religion, there is a book written by Mirza Iiit, Homo Religiosus. That is a religious man. He was trying in that particular book to show us that whatever kind of knowledge man has acquired in life, it was acquired by means of revelation or help from the Lord of creation. When we talk of, for example, farming or weaving or any kind of things, we had that some of our prophets, some of the prophets and messengers were carpenters, they were tailors, and so forth. This confirms us that all kinds of knowledge, including that of agriculture and others, initially came from Allah. So the source of all knowledge is Allah. He is the one who has guided man in his creation, and he is the one who has revealed the guidance, and that is the Quran, so as to guide man in his life activities. Something very, very important which we have to be very aware of that we as humans, we are limited in our knowledge as we are limited in all our other talents. The limited nature of man is clear in everything. You cannot see beyond what is behind a wall, for example. You cannot know what you have not been taught or what you have not seen or heard by means of the physical senses or sensory senses. Uh, that is why knowledge of man, howsoever he acquired it, and by all methods that he used, it has to be guided. It has to be guided by real knowledge, and that is our revelation. And that's why there is a necessary need for man to be guided by an infallible, impeccable, and immaculate divine source of knowledge, and that is revelation. That's whatever area you have chosen for your life endeavor, for your intellectual activities, then know it and put it at the back of your mind that you must be guided. You must be guided by an infallible and impeccable, immaculate divine source of knowledge, and that's revelation. That is why, as Muslims, whatever area we want to excel, whatever area we have chosen to specialize, we must know that there is an area in Islam, especially in the Quran, which is the book of guidance, total guidance, each and every thing. Allah says, "Ma faratna fil kitab min shay." We did not leave out of this book anything. Nothing has been left out of the book. And وَنَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ تِبْيَانًا لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ وَهُدًى وَرَحْمَةً وَبُشْرَى لِلْمُسْلِمِينَ. Allah is saying this book is a clear explanation of everything. You can get rudiments of each and everything. And many of the famous, uh, you can say, famous inventions and discoveries that were made by scholars, they will end up being told by an average Muslim that what you are saying is already there in the Quran, maybe 14 or 13 centuries back, when especially the Western one was trying to be pompous to show that he is the master of knowledge and so on and so forth. The Muslims were referring back to that infallible source of knowledge, and a pointer is found there in the Quran of all kinds of knowledge. And so let us not look down upon the best treasure that we have with us, that is the Quran, and that divine source of knowledge. Hence, the need for revelation to guide man. There is need for you to be guided by revelation in all your life endeavors, not only in knowledge area, but in everything that we do in life. This fact about the limitation of human knowledge is alluded to in the Quran, as we all know, where Allah is saying, يسألونك عن الروح قل الروح من أمر ربي وما أوتيتم من العلم إلا قليلا. They ask you concerning the spirit, says the spirit is part of the affairs of my Lord. You have not been given of knowledge except very little. Very little has been given to man of all his arrogance, especially the Western man that has no religion, that has no guidance with him. He, he tends to be arrogant. After all what he has done is very, very little, as Allah SWT has confirmed the source of all knowledge. Then there is an area that is important, and that's classification of knowledge in Islam. There are many classifications given by different scholars of Islam, but just to quote Ibn Abdul Barr in Jami Bayan al-Ilm, he said, knowledge in the view of the people of religion, that is Islam, are of three orders. We have the three categories. That is, these are the higher order, lower order, and middle order knowledge. That is the higher order knowledge to them is religious or revealed knowledge. As we said, it is the most fundamental, the most important, the most necessary that you have to have. Because you cannot excel in your life. You cannot have Allah's tawfiq and help by that religious knowledge is very, very important. In this category, it is not allowed for any person to make any pronouncement except in accordance with the saying of Allah in His book or on what has come on the tongues of His prophets and messengers. That is, for religion, you are only follow because all perfection is already found there, and you cannot in any way bring something more than what your Creator has brought in religion. ألا يعلم من خلق وهو اللطيف الخبير. Doesn't he know who created? He is the one who created us, and he must have knowledge more than we have. And so, what he has revealed is the best for us in everything. Scholar is referring to the natural study of the environment around us, and he mentioned the engineering and medicine which is a very essential aspect of our own creation. That is when we study our creation, when we study the environment around us, then this is another kind of middle order knowledge according to his classification. And the lower order knowledge is the one that relates to skills, laws, and ethics of praise and works like swimming. But this one is all away from what has been revealed. Because when we talk of religion, we have laws in religion, we have ethics in religion, and we have everything in religion. For any other thing that you will learn in life, apart from what you have learned in your religion, of skills, of other laws, of ethics, and so on, and fashion, design, artistry, engraving, and so on and so forth, is the third order of knowledge. Then classification of knowledge and the relationship between them. It may be deduced from scholarly discussion that we have all known that humanity has been commanded to undertake two different kinds of readings as from the first revelation. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق اقرأ وربك الأكرم. You see here there are two kinds of readings. That is, read in the name of the Lord anything that relates to religion, anything that relates to what Allah has in store for humans from Him as guidance. The classification we have of knowledge in Islam has a relation, these classifications are related to each other. As we have said, it may be deduced from scholarly discussion that humanity has been commanded to undertake two different kinds of readings as from the first revelation, and to understand its situation in the universe through an understanding of how the two complement one another. The study that we make of religion, of guidance, of revelation from our Lord and Creator is supposed to complement whatever other reading we do, whatever other study we do of the universe around us. The first reading is the book of Allah and its revelation, in which all matters of religious significance are explained. And the second is the book of His creation, the natural universe around us, from which nothing has been omitted. This is very, very significant. And that is why there has never been any problem of Islam with science. Islam has never had any problem with science, unlike other religions. Why? Because what the Quran is saying, or what Islam is saying, is revelation from Allah. And what we study in the natural universe is the creation of Allah. So how can there be contradiction between what Allah is saying and what Allah has created? And that's why there has never been such kind of problem. Well, that was a problem of others, especially we know in the history of Europe, the so much struggle and the problem that was there between science and the church and so on and so forth. Then we have another kind of classification of knowledge, and that is the nafi'i knowledge or beneficial knowledge. And we all know the Prophet ﷺ has always been praying that Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'a. Oh Allah, we are asking you, we seek from you useful knowledge, beneficial knowledge. Beneficial knowledge that helps you and helps all the people of the world around you. And then he seeks Allah's protection from al-ilm ad-dar. That is the knowledge that is harmful, that will bring calamity to humanity. And we can all see this from those who have knowledge but have no such guidance from the revelation of Allah, and they went on searching and making a lot of inventions and so on and so forth, to the extent that they can, with what they have of weapons, destroy this earth many times, as has been confirmed. Then another important aspect is the universality of knowledge. Islam really views knowledge as a universal entity. In other words, knowledge in its entirety and essence is a universal human heritage. In one of his hadith, the Prophet is reported to have said, Al-hikmatu dallatul mu'min aynama wajadaha wa huwa haqqun nas biha. That is, wisdom is the lost property of the believer. Wherever he finds it, he most deserves it. So no race, tribe, nation, or color has a monopoly of knowledge. Humanity generally has the capability to acquire knowledge, and there is no hindrance that should be given to, that should be put before anybody because of his any position, whether a male or a female, or a race, sex, nation, and so on and so forth. Humanity generally has the capability to acquire knowledge and can also attain perfection in it. So all human races, tribes, nations, or colors could excel in terms of exploring, acquiring, transforming, and developing knowledge. It is an opportunity for all. And that is why Muslims have never went in that, and especially in the earlier centuries of Islam, to the extent that they became the masters of the world. It is only when the Muslims have now abandoned this particular universal heritage, human heritage, that they became what they became. But they were leading the whole world before in terms of knowledge, because of what they did, or because of what they understood from the message of Allah and his encouragement when he said, "Qul inzuru madha fis samawati wal ard." Tell them, look into and study whatever is in the heavens and the earth. There's an open license for Muslims to study whatever is on the surface of the earth and whatever is in the heavens, because this will only bring and confirm to them the azama of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his innumerable knowledge and design. Then what are the characteristics of knowledge in Islam? It is clear that knowledge, it is this inseparability of knowledge from Allah. There is no way you can separate knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It means that since Allah is all-knowing and all omniscient, Allah is the root of all knowledge. He is the source of all knowledge, and there is no way you can separate knowledge in Islam from Allah, the creator, your own creator, the provider of knowledge, and so on and so forth. Then another thing is that knowledge and truth are interwoven in Islam. They are interwoven in the sense that, as they are saying, knowledge is nothing other than acting upon it. When you learn knowledge, knowledge will lead you to the truth, and truth will lead you to action. This is obvious since Allah is the ultimate truth. Then another thing, it is the relationship that knowledge has with action, spirituality, and ethics. This relationship as obtained in Islam is unequaled. That is, you cannot see anything like that in Islam, in other religions, in other orders, in other civilizations. That is where knowledge is put into action, and it is always together with spirituality, and it is also together with ethics. Al-akhlaq, or ethics that we see in Islam, are so encompassing that in each and every aspect of life there is akhlaqiyat. That is, we have ethics, we have morality. We have morality that is morality that you don't find in any other civilization. That's all what we can see, whether at the time of war, at the time of peace, at the time of anything, there is morality, there is ethics that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in this wonderful religion. Then, what are the methods of knowledge in Islam? There are 3 levels of knowledge as explained by scholars. That is, you can say what we call under philosophy epistemology. That is means of knowing knowledge, of acquiring knowledge. These are the spiritual, the intellectual, and the sensory levels of knowledge. That is, the spiritual is the religious, and that comes with revelation, and it is the final, the most perfect, the most infallible source of knowledge, and that is what comes through revelation. And it is the most authentic, the one that you most rely upon over all other things. And when any aspect of knowledge contradicts what has come through authentic revelation, as Imam Ibn Taymiyyah is saying in one of his books, that there can never be any contradiction between sound knowledge and perfect revelation. Sound knowledge that has been confirmed, you can say scientific truth, that people have experimented over and over again, and they still arrive at the same result. It can never contradict any sound knowledge that has been authentically narrated narrated from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or revealed by Allah ta'ala. So there can never be contradiction between that and what Allah has placed in His creation. The second method or means of acquiring knowledge is that of in the intellect, using reasoning. And there is so much of that in the Quran. That is, the Quran has employed that particular method, especially when we look at as we mentioned earlier, the revelation that were there in the Meccan period, when Allah is calling on humans over and over again to use their own intellect, to look around them, to see the creation, to see whether such creations can come into existence by themselves, or to see how their interrelationship that is there between the different segments of the society, and confirm that all these were created by Allah, and it is He who is controlling everything. And so your intellect, your reasoning will now guide you to acquire knowledge and to believe in Allah. A very, very subtle point I will raise here is the issue of the belief in the Prophet ﷺ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained to us in Surah Yunus, of this very, very important aspect, important method of confirming knowledge, and by means of the intellect. For people who are not Muslims, if you want to invite them to Islam, I think you cannot start by quoting the Quran or the Sunnah to them, because they don't know it and they don't believe in it. So what you are supposed to do is you have to use a common tool, a common instrument, and that is the intellect that Allah has given each and every human. And regarding the position of the Prophet, which is the foundation of this religion, because he is the one person that Allah has chosen, He gave message to him, and He brought that message to humans. If there is anything to be said against him, against his integrity, then it means everything has crumbled. I was just explaining you can say, rational argument for belief in the Prophet ﷺ, or an intellectual argument for you why you are a Muslim. That is, these two verses from Surah to Yunus are saying clearly that those who do not have any hope in meeting with Allah, those who are unbelievers, they came to the Salah and they were telling him that bring another Quran other than this, or you change it. And then Allah told him that you tell them I have no power whatsoever to do anything like that. I only follow what has been revealed unto me, and I fear if I were to change anything of Allah's revelation, I fear a terrible punishment. And then Allah told him in the second verse to tell them, قُلْ لَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا تَلَوْتُهُ عَلَيْكُمْ. Tell them, if Allah had willed, I would not have recited it unto you, وَلَا أَدْرَاكُمْ بِهِ, and I would not have taught you it. I would not have made you to know of it. فَقَدْ لَبِثْتُ فِيكُمْ عُمْرًا مِنْ قَبْلِ. This is the Mahal Shahid. This verses, these words, فَقَدْ لَبِثْتُ فِيكُمْ عُمْرًا مِنْ قَبْلِهِ. I have tallied with you for a whole lifetime. A whole lifetime of 40 years I have been with you. You understand me, you know my credentials, you know my akhlaq, you know everything regarding me. You know whether I can cheat you or I cannot cheat you. You know whether I am somebody reliable or unreliable. So فَقَدْ لَبِثْتُ فِيكُمْ عُمْرًا مِنْ قَبْلِ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Why are you then not using your senses? So this is very clear. And the third methodology of getting knowledge is that of the hawas, that is the sensory organs. That is what we can see, and that's what we can see touch, taste, and so on and so forth, as we all know. The methods of knowledge in Islam are based on these three levels of perception, and this is so important to the extent that there is no way for you of being a true believer in Islam without having proper knowledge, without having proper guidance from the Lord of creation, and that can only be gotten from can only be gotten from revelation, from knowledge that you can acquire in Islam. I think this is where I may maybe try to round up, and maybe you'll now open the floor for a discussion. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, alaikum salam.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Yes.
I think it is now time for interaction,
Okay.
which in this part of the program is either the participants ask questions, or you can also throw questions to the participants in relation to what you have been discussing. So may I call on all the participants, if you have your questions or any area that are not very much clear to you, you ask the professor for extra explanation, while you also expect questions from the presenter. So, and Prof, you are expected to anchor this also interactive sections between you and participants. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much. It's all right. So, I'm calling. Yes. Okay, so any question? Anyone who wants to, let him raise his hand, eh? Okay, you pick out anyone who wants to say something. But one by one, please. Wa alaikum salam. Who is speaking?
Ali Ahmad, go on.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum
Alaikum
salam.
salam.
Now,
Bob, good morning, sir.
this morning, how are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
I have a
Yes.
Bob. Regarding legal case of knowledge, especially that of the number two, which is akal.
Now?
Regards to akal.
Apple? Okay, apple, yes. Okay, reasoning.
Yes, I mean,
Yes, go
upon
ahead.
reasoning. Yeah.
Yes. What is the question?
I was having difficulties with my network.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Alaikum. Okay, I'm talking to Ali Ahmad, eh? Have you finished? Oh, you're having problem. Okay, Muhammad Rabi'u. Muhammad Rabi'u.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes,
My question is that I need more explanation about the knowledge is universal human heritage.
Okay. Okay, another question?
Alaikum salam.
My name is Nazif. I want to ask about the ingredients that a student should possess so as he can be able to benefit from the knowledge that is nafi, the one that is beneficial. What are a student supposed to possess in order to have that particular kind of knowledge?
Who is talking now? Wa alaikum salam. Shaibu. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes.
Make mention of the three types of the knowledge the useful one and the unuseful one. That of the useful one is known, but what about the unuseful one? Can you please, Professor, give us example of
I
the unuseful
couldn't
one?
get you. Existing and non-existing?
No, the useful one, you said there is useful knowledge, knowledge that is useful and knowledge that is harmful. So the one that is useful is the
Okay,
one with
okay, useful and okay, it's okay.
the harmful one. Example of the harmful knowledge, knowledge that is
Okay,
harmful to us.
it's all
Yeah.
right. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, Prof.
Alaikum salam. Now, yes.
Um,
Mm.
on the heading of methods of knowledge in Islam,
Mm.
I need more clarification on the spiritual level and sensory level, sir.
Okay, it's all right. Thank you.
Assalamu
Wa alaikum salam.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Go ahead, all around you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, I can hear you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Okay, yes, problem.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Now,
My
our,
question goes, sir,
yes.
about the ways of acquiring knowledge.
Okay.
Ways of acquiring knowledge. Please, can you shed more light on the ways of acquiring knowledge?
Okay. It's all right. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Okay.
I'm the line from
Yes.
Sokoto.
Okay, go ahead.
My own is not a question, but appreciation. I just want to say a word or two regarding the organizers and the presenters. Since yesterday, we have been lectures on this Islamization, or rather integration of knowledge.
Yeah.
And to be frank, it's reshaping my thinking, and I am assuring the organizers that inshallah we'll make good utilization and application of this knowledge into almost all the ramifications, all the areas which we are dealing with. May Allah continue to strengthen the effort of the organizers. Jazakumullah khairan.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Prof.
Before this man asks the questions, before
Okay.
we need to address the questions so far asked, so
okay.
that if there is more time, then we can entertain
Okay,
other questions.
more. Okay, it's all right. Okay. No, all around you, just 1 minute. Let me just go over the questions. Yes. The first one is on the universal human heritage. As we said, knowledge is not limited to any particular nation, but it is something that Allah has given to the whole of humanity, and it is always passed from one generation to another generation. And it is built on that. For you to have anything, to learn anything, you need to have studied something earlier. So you built on that, and so there is nothing like what we are saying today, Western knowledge. No, especially when we read our Islamic history, especially history of Andalus Muslim Spain, we know how Europeans were coming to Muslim universities to learn from Muslim professors, and that was what made of West what it has become. They learned all these things from the Muslims. So that is what we are saying. So anyone who will take of that knowledge and improve upon it and pass it on to others, this is his own, and this is what the Muslims are supposed to be leading others in doing that. As a question is on ingredients we must possess for beneficial knowledge. The ingredients are very clear. The first one is al-iman wal-amal salih. When you are a believer and then you act righteously according to the guidance of Allah, then there is every likelihood, every certainty that Allah will help you and He will give you useful knowledge. So very, very importantly, you have to be a believer. You have to be acting righteously. You have to do whatever you are to do in order to acquire a particular kind of knowledge. That is, follow the asbab, and then you do tawakkul on Allah, and then Allah will help you with that. Then the same thing of useful knowledge and beneficial knowledge. Useful knowledge, we all know it very clearly. Harmful knowledge is anything that can lead into the destruction of humanity. There are people who learn magic in order to kill others. There are people who learn something that is not allowed in Islam. There are people who will learn, as I was mentioning in the presentation, they learned sciences and the invention of the atomic bomb and so on and so forth, but it can be turned into being harmful and if it is used in a very wrong way. It is just like, as we say, a sword has two sides of sharpness. You can use it for the good and you can use it for the harmful aspect of it. Spiritual and sensory knowledge. Spiritual knowledge is what we all know, what we are trying to learn as Muslims. And all this, what this presentation we are doing is very much in line with spiritual knowledge. Even if we are teaching you what knowledge is all about, it is also spiritual because it enhances our spirituality. And then sensory knowledge is anything that we learn by means of the senses, what you can see and touch, and especially what related to what we call the natural sciences. I think I've already answered that question of ways of acquiring knowledge. That is the second question, maybe. While I discuss the ingredients of useful and beneficial knowledge. Yes, we can move on to another round of questions if there is still time. Rob.
Alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Now.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
I want to really appreciate you, sir, another coordinator, Amalariwa Jedris unit. I want to ask, sir, because in trying to seek knowledge, there are some people that sought for knowledge in order for them to understand the nature and the behavior and activities of some groups. And while trying to read
Go ahead. Or is it network problem? Can you continue? Yes. Okay, any other? Alaikum salam.
My name is Nazifi Musa from Kebbi.
From?
I want the professor to explain the ways or the problem we are now encountering by most of our students by biting their teachers and going against what the teachers are saying. So how or what brings such kind of problems, and how are we going to tackle the problem if happens? Thank you.
Okay. Yes, another question. Walaikum salam.
My question has to do with field of study.
No.
A field of study. Assalamu alaikum.
Go ahead. Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
We have a very active brother in MSS, mashallah, doing very well. From his secondary school to his diploma, and then he got an admission to read degree. And for the admission offered was theater art or drama, something like that. Yes. And some brothers felt a very active brother in MSS, very front line, and should not go to read theater art. And many comments were made. He has to change his course to study a different thing. I can't remember now. I think law or something like that. What will Prof say about issues like this? Thank you.
Okay, it's all right. There's another question before we round up. Okay, so I'll respond to these two questions. The first one is saying, why are the students now not doing what the teachers are telling them? I think, the issue of teacher-student relationship is very, very important. And that's what we mean by qudwa, al-qudwatul hasana, which is the Prophet Allah told us, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرَ وَذَكَرَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. That is, Allah has made and given us the best exemplary conduct, the best example in the person of the Prophet ﷺ. And that is for those who hope of meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they remember Allah constantly. So when we look at the different section of the verse, it is saying that those who believe in Allah and those who are constantly, those who believe in the hereafter and are in constant dhikr with Allah, these are the ones that will take the Prophet to be the guide for them. It means that these things, these are some of the requirements. You need to have this as a believer. You have to respect your teachers. You have to see in them as examples of people who are trying to guide you. And for the teachers also, they have to, in a way, try to come very close to what the Prophet was exemplifying, what he was representing, that they have to be true leaders, true people of their own words. Whatever they tell the student is what the student will see them acting upon, and so on and so forth. When that symbiosis relationship is maintained, you will see that the student will very clearly benefit from what the teachers were telling them, and that will bring much of benefit to the ummah. On the issue of theater arts, you see the issue related to this is whenever there is anything that is clearly of the acts of Jahiliyyah, because it's during Jahiliyyah that people are making these issues of sculptures and so on and so forth, and that's why it is very much discouraged in Islam for you to have gotten admission in that. I think it may be better for somebody who is not a very active and committed member of MSS. We still have other Muslims, isn't it, that maybe you can go for that. But for you as a committed believer, a committed active member, I think you should go for something better, Even though arts and fine arts and so on and so forth can still be used to further the cause of Islam, because there is calligraphy, we have all kinds of arts that are used in order to further the message of Islam. That can be done. But I think a person, since we have as many people, many Muslims that are now going into this kind of studies, I will prefer, in my own opinion, somebody who is not that one that has committed the whole of his life to MSS. Let him go for something higher, something better. Allah Alam. Yes. Okay, Prof.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Prof.
Thank you very much, Prof. I think maybe the convener will have to say one thing or the other as a mark of remarks.
Okay.
So, and maybe, except if you have some questions to ask the participants.
Okay.
Otherwise, we will say we thank you very much, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you abundantly.
Okay.
And more so, we look forward to answering our maybe invitation anytime.
Yes.
we invite you. And
Inshallah.
we just have 1 minute left for the interactive session. That is why we want to hold it here, so that we give the convener in the person of the coordinator, Central Office Nigeria, to make his remarks. But maybe before that, we would like to inform all the participants that the evaluation form is circulated, one to our WhatsApp, and then to also this Google chatting. So let them check and then fill the form, please. So thank you very much. So we will now call on the coordinator, Central Office, Nigeria, in the person of Dr. Ali Utanko. Assalamu alaikum, sir. So maybe, sir, if before, maybe he's having some challenges, maybe before he arrives, if you have some questions
Okay,
for the participants.
it's just question or remark. What I want to advise our brothers and sisters is that let them, as much as possible, try to read through this kind of material. And very importantly, the issue of ikhlas is important in any act of seeking knowledge. You have to do it sincerely for the sake of Allah, and that is when the knowledge that you will acquire will be beneficial to you. You have to be up and doing in terms of acting upon what you learned, and try to be very close to your books, close to your teachers, who are your mentors, so that you'll benefit from them. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Doctor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyil karim. Wa ba'da, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I would like to seize this opportunity today to congratulate all the participants for participating in this program. And the interest keep increasing. And I think we'll be losing very, very little by having this online virtual program. Because I can see all the presenters are up and doing. Professor Meshanu today keep us very, very busy and up to date. What I want to convey to on behalf of the Iiit Central Office to the participants is the challenge is on you. We have done, all the stakeholders have done the best they can do to get the message to you, especially this aspect now of discussion, that is the integration of knowledge. The whole idea is to encourage you to read and read and read more. That is the only way we can catch up and we can be better Muslims, and we can also encourage others, and we can be admired by others. So the presentation of Professor Meshanu is really wonderful, and we hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless him and reward him abundantly. And for the participants, I hope we are taking this lesson seriously, and we will go back and digest it again. Read the book again, not only this same book on integration of knowledge given to you, but read more, so that there can be also scholar in the same area. Anybody, whether you are reading sciences, whether you are reading general humanities, this lesson is relevant because it is bringing you closer to Allah as you are doing whatever you are doing. Whether you are in medicine, whether you are in engineering, to say you are reading engineering, you are reading medicine, but at the time you are conscious of the knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know that knowledge is of medicine or engineering or whatever is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is my message, and I think tomorrow we'll be concluding this thing, and then we'll have the review and the interesting thing, inshallah. This same presentation will be circulated again to you, because it is recorded, so that you go it again and again for the benefit of all. With this, أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Walaikum salam. So I think, sir, Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, I think we still have about 20, 15 minutes, sir. If you have not finished your remark, you can still continue to conclude, and or if you have questions that you have not asked, or we can still give the participants 1 or 3 more to ask questions, if any.
Okay.
Hello, salam alaikum.
Yes, I think I will be. Walaikum salam. Yes, let them ask if they Okay.
My own is not a question per se. It's a request. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello? My own is not a question per se, it's a request. As
Yes.
regards if the slides for the lecture or for the program can be made available for we the participants. Or should we make it as, or since we have the book, should we not bother ourselves about the slides presented for the programs of yesterday and today?
Okay, I think that is for those organizers, eh?
Yes, assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam.
The slide will be circulated to all the participants through through WhatsApp and even through this Google.
Okay, it's all right. Yes. Okay, any other question?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Muhammad Jamil, yes, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes.
I can hear you.
I want to appreciate Prof and all our brothers who have Professor Abdul. Particularly, yes, the information passed by Professor Abdullahi Dalhatu concerning Google Form. I had challenge with network. I didn't get exactly what he said that time. Can he just help repeat the information he passed about one Google Form? I didn't get it.
Okay. I think Prof has heard you.
Yes, okay. What I said was that the evaluation form for today's program has already been circulated. So please let all participants fill the form and then submit.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, inshallah.
You can also find it at the chat.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu
Wa alaikum
alaikum.
salam.
Awa Ismaila from Jigawa State, area
Yes.
unit. Okay, sir, if I may understand you, and I think I have two contradicting issues.
Okay.
Issue, you said somebody can read even if it is sorcery or maybe a nuclear and this in education. Okay, in the second, you wanted to read, a brother wanted to read a theater art. Then you said maybe you can read something better than the theater art. Okay,
Yes.
doctor. Okay, Prof. Isn't it contradicting? Because you said somebody can study something that may be beneficial. If you allow that brother maybe perhaps to read the theater art, wouldn't you think it will be beneficial, as you said, the nuclear something and the sorcery will also benefit the Muslim or Ummah?
Okay. It's all right. Any other question? I will respond to that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Wa alaikum salam. Now,
Prof, what I want to ask about is that there is two parties in knowledge: those that seek knowledge and others that do not seek. And that particular one that seek knowledge, maybe they misuse it. So the ones that seek knowledge and misuse it, and the others that do not even seek the knowledge, which one may found it that may found it easier hereafter?
okay. Those who seek and those who do not seek.
And
those who does not seek knowledge.
Salam alaikum.
Okay. Alaikum salam.
So my second question goes. Can I continue, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, nowadays you can hear you can understand that so many youths reach something that will fetch them money. Unlike the other time we studied, because we studied just to acquire the knowledge and to be beneficial to us. So, okay, what light can you shed for this youth that they should be studying so that they should forget about money? Money will come later, sir.
Okay, it's all right. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me respond to this. You see, the first question that was asked by you, saying that there is a sort of contradiction between what we said on the theater art, on sorcery, and nuclear. I think what we said is very clear. As anything that you can go into the theater arts if you are sure that you will not do anything that contradicts the law of Allah. And you will not carve anything for somebody who is an idol worshipper. Because by doing that, you are helping him in his kufr, in his shirk, which is never allowed in Islam. If you know that, I mentioned it at the time of the presentation, that if whatever you learn, if you can change it for the benefit of Islam and the Muslims, then that can be accepted if all the rules of the Sharia are being respected. You see, from in all the presentations we made, it is clear that the guidance of Allah is the overall guide for all what we do in life, whether seeking knowledge or imparting knowledge or anything. That has to be the guiding light for us in everything. On the issue of those who seek knowledge and those who do not seek knowledge, you see, seeking knowledge is obligatory on each and every Muslim, and especially beneficial and Islamic knowledge or religious knowledge, which is what is necessary for you to know who you are, to know your Lord and Creator, to know how to relate to your Lord before going eventually back to Him. So that is very, very essential, and that is incumbent upon each and every Muslim. But as for all other kinds of knowledge, as we usually they call it ulum sunaiya, it is just like knowledge that you learn for your daily livelihood. That you can learn as long as it is within the dictates of the Sharia, you can use it. But the danger of having knowledge and not implementing it or not working on it is very, very dangerous, and we all know Allah is saying, "Atamuruna an-nasa bil-birri wa tansawna anfusakum wa antum tatluna al-kitab." That is, are you going to, because you are knowledgeable, you tell people to do something on the basis of your knowledge, and then you'll go and do something else, then you are destroying yourself by that. You have to use, mal ilma illa al-amalu bih. In Islam, knowledge is nothing other than acting upon it. You have to implement it, you have to act upon it in your life. Otherwise, it will be hujjah against you, not hujjah for you of gaining Allah's good pleasure and His Jannah in the next life. Then the issue of fetching money, as you mentioned, you said people now, they only go for knowledge that will fetch money, isn't it? That is, as we mentioned, that is a way of livelihood. But that they should not at any time try to be oblivious of the fact that they have to have the knowledge of their religion. That is very, very essential. It will, you are supposed to be different from a non-Muslim who will, they يأكلون كما تأكل الأنعام, as Allah said and described them. They are living like animals, they eat and drink like animals and so on, because they have no purpose in life. They don't know where they are going to. They don't know the eventual meeting they will have to do with their Lord and Creator. For you as a Muslim, you are supposed to learn knowledge that will help you, that will guide you, and that will also serve you in your purpose of life. The purpose of knowing and recognizing your Lord and living in accordance with His guidance throughout your life. Thank you. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Alaikum.
Salaam alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam.
Yeah, hello, salaam
Okay.
alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
I think, sir, our time is over, and
Okay. Somebody wanted to say something around, but I don't know. Is it the time now?
I think let him exercise patience, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir,
So what?
thank you very much, sir, for this
Okay.
good presentation. And we hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you abundantly.
Amen.
Also informing you that tomorrow we will have another program at the
Okay.
same time. And the presenter will be Professor Salim Shehu. So
Okay.
we will need the professor to join us tomorrow also, so that we may
Okay.
have your meeting and then other contributions also.
It's okay. Inshallah.
Inshallah,
Inshallah.
we thank you very much, sir, for
Okay.
the
Barakallah fikum.
support. And
Okay.
for
Thank you.
participants, we also thank you very much, because today's conduct is really better than yesterday. And we hope we will see more improvement tomorrow. And we would like you to please join the meeting on time. And we will not like you, because we have realized that some will join and opt out. They will join and opt out. Please, I think this is not very good. We need to stay from the beginning to the end. I think the coordinator of the HCD has some announcements to make, and thereafter we will call someone to close the meeting with a prayer. Coordinator.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. So, Alhamdulillah, as has been said, inshallah, tomorrow at the same time, 9 o'clock, we will be having the last session of the program HCD of this year. And inshallah, interestingly, the presenter of tomorrow's session is the author of the book that we are reviewing. So, and the end part of the book also has some intriguing and challenging matters that we will have to take home with. And I'm sure the way he arranged and spell out those challenges, he will come instinctively to explain those things and drain or take it down to our heart what is expected of us and what we should be doing as a challenge or assignment after this particular program. So it is very important that we don't miss tomorrow, because the capping up is the most important. And you know, as the statement of the hadith of the Rasul that the most important matters is how it ends. So the khawatim of the issue, we'll be having it inshallah tomorrow, and the best of it is the outcome of that tomorrow, and the outcome is dependent on the stakeholders, who you are among the stakeholders of this particular gathering. May Allah Ta'ala make it easy. For Allah's sake, tomorrow, please, let's try and obey the rule and ensure we close our cameras and mute our microphones. It's very important, because Dr. Najib yesterday have told us it saved our bandit and a kind of control a particular network issue as well. Today is better and tomorrow should be the best. And may Allah Ta'ala make it easy and guide us all. Inshallah, some information will get back to you in some way, inshallah, before the end of the day, for a little palliative, inshallah. May Allah Ta'ala make it easy and guide us all. I call Dr. Najib to give us the closing prayer. Dr. Najib.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك.